In an earlier video, I talked about how the styles inside the WordPress editor are sometimes different than the styles that you apply inside of CSS. This can be a real hassle to manage. So to help with that, WordPress created a thing called Theme.json that lets us set different properties for color, sizing, features, and more using a machine-readable file that WordPress then takes and turns into CSS. This is great if you're fully committed to using the WordPress editor, but if you're creating your own theme or using a page builder, it becomes a real challenge because then you have to manage your styles and your colors in two separate places. Well, Pinegrow has a feature that's going to help you with that. Before I get into the demo, let me just show you a little bit more about Theme.json so you can learn what it is and how it works. Over here in the WordPress Developer Handbook, this is a great resource for understanding what Theme.json is and what you can modify with it. So you can edit things like your color palette, your gradients, you can turn on and off duotones, you can change your typography, you can decide what types of typography settings you want to allow, same with your layout, spacing, and all kinds of other things. This is a relatively technical page, so if you're looking for something a little bit more user-friendly, you can come over to fullsiteediting.com. And here they have some great references on using Theme.json as well as other things related to full site editing. I definitely recommend checking this out. I'm in their global styles lesson right now, and this is a great place just to go through and learn how to use this. This is the same no-code theme demo that we've been working on, and I've just loaded up our project inside the WordPress plugin. You'll notice the interface is a lot different here, and this is just the default interface that comes with the Pinegrow WordPress plugin. And even though I could set it up to look exactly the same as the desktop, I'm going to leave it like this so that we can differentiate between the two. So the basic premise is that it'll take the colors and typography from within the design panel, and it'll create a theme.json file inside your project with those settings. So let's come over to the project files, and you can see that it hasn't generated anything yet. I'm going to do export theme. And now you'll notice we have a theme.json. Let's right click on that and show it in the editor so we can see what it wrote. So you can see that it's created a color palette for us, and it's taken those colors inside the design panel and it's added them to theme.json. It's also added our font families with the names and the slugs in the typography section. Now this is fine, but it doesn't give us access to all the things that you might want to do with your theme.json. So since this is a structured file, we can easily come in and add our own custom properties. But remember, this theme.json file gets overwritten every time that you export the theme. So we don't want to save it to theme.json. We actually want to create a new file called custom_theme.json. So let's do that now. And I'll just say create new file. And I'll call it custom theme.json. Open it in the code editor. And here you can see a boilerplate theme.json file that I tend to use for my projects. It's got a lot of settings preset in there, like I want to show my settings appearance tools, I want my layout to be a specific size, I want certain properties for my spacing and borders, I want to enable and disable certain things in the color palettes, and I want to enable and disable certain things in typography. This boilerplate isn't inside the lesson files that you downloaded earlier, but I do have a download link in this module where you can get it. So let's just copy this. And I'm going to paste it right here in my custom theme.json. We'll save that file. Export that theme. And now, when we look at our theme.json file again, we can see that we've got those properties set. So it's taken my custom theme.json and it's added it to the exported theme.json file. So that when I come over to the editor, it now has the spacing set on the page. When I go into colors, I've got my theme colors already set. I've got the typography tool set that I want to access, as well as my padding and margin available to me. If you've been following along, you'll also see that the styling's a lot different. In our regular theme without the theme.json, these headings were all blue, and now they're black for some reason. Well, that's because our WordPress editor styles are now overriding the styles that we set in the theme. So I can easily come in here and use primary there. Now let's save this, and I want to show you what happens on the front end. Let's check this out in the inspector. And now the color that's assigned to it is this WP preset color primary. And this is our Gutenberg color variable. That's different than the color variable we've been using. So you'll need to make some adjustments for this in your workflow, but I wanted to show you anyway how that theme.json file works, what it's built for, and that it's something that's available inside of Pinegrow. For now, I just want to give you an introduction to it.